What do you do when a tooth is sheared off at the gum line? A lot of times when there's just a stump like that, the thought is let's just go ahead and take it out. There's a lot of different possibilities that can happen, and an implant might work really, really well. On the other hand, in terms of cost, to be able to redo the crown, use something that will bond it in place, will probably work out pretty well. This is the old crown here. We had re-cemented it in place. The re-cementation of it just didn't work. It kept on coming out. And you can see that there's a little bit of the tooth that is seen near the lingual there. We did a crown lengthening procedure. That's where the red gum tissue is. And we're going to reduce that to a nicer shoulder and make a lithium disilicate crown. And with that, we'll have a shoulder that goes completely around the tooth and allow us to bond the lithium disilicate in place. This is a little nicer in terms of just retention and the ability to get that to work really well. You can see the bleeding that's occurring around the tooth. That was from the crown lengthening procedure. The shoulder that needs to be done, we really didn't do any crown lengthening on the buccal there because of how close the attached tissue is, and really didn't go very far at all in terms of going subgingival. But we're going around the tooth, creating a shoulder, using an electric handpiece, and being very gentle to the tooth because we don't wish the tooth to die. If the tooth does, we could always do a root canal through it. In this particular case, when we went to deliver it, we took the crown off, temporary crown off, and the person's tooth was still quite vital. He didn't have any problems. And we went through the other alternatives of doing the implant, and he chose to just do the crown with the little bit of crown lengthening. He's well aware that in this particular tooth it could die, and because he's over 60, the recession of the nerve is there, and we're not even close to where the nerve is. Here's the view from the top. You can see the shoulder. You can also see the cord that's the packed. We took the cord out, took an impression, and on the first try there wasn't any bleeding. You'll see the impression. You'll also see how we were able to get up around the tooth, and the amount of tooth structure that's no longer a stump will allow us to put in a nice adhesively bonded tooth. There's the shoulder that's all the way around. There's the tempering when we take it off a few weeks later, and you can see how it's nice and dry. It's not bleeding. We're able to cement that in place and then come back and check it. Here's the actual crown, the lithium disilicate. You can see the shoulder that was there, and that's it in place. Not an exact match, but it's pretty close. And to be able to chew and eat really nicely, he's very, very pleased. So this is what it looks like.